that first period. Yari Curry figured in all 3 Edmonton goals, setting up the first by Mike Krushelnyski, and then scoring 2 himself. Troy Murray, Darryl Sutter, and Steve Larmer scoring for Chicago. The Oilers in that opening period outshot the Hawks 17-9, 13 penalties, 6 of them to Chicago.
Obvious that Doug Wilson has had problems in that first period trying to stop the Oilers to the outside. He has a lot of difficulty turning, and Edmonton has used that to their advantage. They're going right at him on their passing plays and skating around him, and I think that Bob Pulford probably should sit Wilson down and just use him on the power play.
Either that, or else maybe play him against McClellan's line, who's not quite as quick as, say, Messier's line or, say, Gretzky's line. And also, you look at it in another sense, maybe not have Wilson on the ice whenever Coffey's on the ice. When Coffey makes those rushes, he always goes to his off wing, the other side, which is the right wing. And, of course, Wilson playing the left defense, that creates a problem. Give Wilson marks for trying to give it an effort. He's good on the power play, and he's been effective on the power play.
Well, something that the Blackhawks attempted to do and were somewhat successful in Chicago was forcing Coffey to come out on the left side rather than winding up and coming down the right side.
Blogging the middle. And I think Howie Meeker on that telestrator showed it really well. The way everybody on Chicago's club are trying to concentrate on Coffey. 3 people went at him that time. He simply dumped it off, created a 2-1-1 immediately. Coffey's very, very smart.
Well, he's always had the tools, the offensive skills to be a star in this league, and it's getting to know all the players in the National Hockey League. And, you know, he just keeps getting better and better and better, and whatever you give him, he'll take.
And we're talking about a seasoned pro in Paul Coffey, who is an old man. He's 23 years old. Imagine that. He's young still.
And playing with a number of hurts. Matter of fact, in Game 3, he did not get on the ice for about the final 7 minutes. And that ankle re-injured in the warm-up tonight. But Paul Coffey, even on one bad leg, can still fly. Lead pass on the right side for Gretzky, with Lumley going for the net. Into Kozar, who was going to the slot and dumped down the ice.
Okay, the period started. Billy Carroll center for Edmonton against Troy Murray. Murray went right off. And Gretzky made a quick change. So Murray's on the bench, Gretzky's on the ice. Good change for the Edmonton Oilers.
Here's the chance for Chicago. Larmer going in. Saved by Fleur. Larmer gets it again. Tries to get it back to the line. It's went to Gretzky, and Gretzky working against Bob Murray. A shot right on, and it's dumped down the ice. Larmer taken in against the boards by Krushelnyski. Coffey back to pick it up. Being chased back by Troy Murray. Now it's picked up by the Hawks. Over for Olczyk. Olczyk shot. The rebound. And it's cleared. Olczyk gets it again. To the line for Bob Murray. He broke his stick in the shot. Goes to the bench as Keith Brown comes out. Krushelnyski with a long drive. Bluffed by Bannerman.
Not exactly defensive hockey, is it, gentlemen? Boy, it's wide open end-to-end, and the goaltenders, it's going to be a nightmare before this series is over.
Napier dodges a check. Gets it in for Anderson, and Messier couldn't quite get a stick on it as it was cleared. Back at the line, Kevin Lowe pokes it to the corner. Anderson has it now. Anderson lost it, and back comes Olczyk for Fraser. Fraser with Olczyk. Olczyk offside.
Well, Grant Fuhr had 2 tough saves to make early in the second period as Chicago comes out of the blocks quickly, but Fuhr both times stayed right with the shooter. He tried to keep his body as square as possible to the person taking the shot. The very first one was a breakaway. Watch for Fuhr. See how he's right out there and he stayed right with the shooter. Now the other one is a little bit more of a scramble, but when he makes a move across, see how square he is again? Again, he's there for the rebound. He moved his body from the right to the left side and kept his shoulders as square as possible. That creates better balance and more room on that body for the puck to hit.
18-14 left in this second period. The score tied at 3. Dumped into the Edmonton bench, and another skirmish. More shoving and pushing than anything else, and an exchange of words, but now Al Secor is involved.
2 or 3 times this period, McClellan's been going over and trying to bump Doug Wilson, doing his best to get Wilson off his game. And that's why Secord came over immediately.
Talked to Glenn Anderson this morning, and we mentioned about Ian Secord having quite a battle in Chicago, and he said he enjoyed every minute of it. You know, he's trying to score goals, Secord's trying to score goals, and by the same token, they're both trying to stop each other, and it was an exciting a matchup as you'll ever see.
Lysiak from the faceoff fires a shot line. At the point, it's picked up by McClellan. Fires it to an open wing. Willie Lindstrom has to circle back. Now Jackson out of his own zone shoots it in. Lindstrom racing for that loose puck. And getting back just in time to deflect the shot with Dupont. Right out to center ice. Savard move in with the puck. Murray following on the play, takes it in. A shot goes wide. Back at the point, Sutter dumps it in. Jackson brings it out to the center ice area. Gretzky out there, across the line. Takes the shot, saved. Big rebound to Savard. Savard dumps it off the boards and down the ice. And as Huddy goes back to touch it, this will produce an icing call against the Chicago Blackhawks. 17-16 is the time left in the second. 3-3 to score. The face-off to the left of Murray Bannerman. Messier in that face-off circle against Troy Murray. Now Murray is waved out and Goldcheck will come in. It goes to the corner to Doug Wilson. Wilson dressed for game 2 of the playoffs. With that groin injury kept it out of games 3 and 4. Messier has it in the corner, tried to center it, went off the leg to the side of the net, and Bannerman didn't see it. Anderson into the slot, and the puck away from Messier and is dumped down the ice.
Now, right now, it just seems the Chicago Blackhawks are hanging on. That speed of the Edmonton Oilers is starting to work for them as they got continuous pressure in Chicago into the ice.
Played around on the boards for Lysiak. Lysiak dumps it out. Al Secord in games 3 and 4 hit every Edmonton jersey possible in the first period, particularly in game 4, but in this one tonight he hasn't been using the body nearly as much. Secord now going to the Chicago bench for 16:25 remaining in this second period. Napier crossed the line, dropped it for Anderson. Anderson centered it. Gretzky was looking for the puck, but Bannerman was able to clear it. There's a delayed penalty call coming up against, I believe, the Edmonton Oilers' Glenn Anderson. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Glenn Anderson draws the penalty, and it seems to be a favorite type of penalty, slashing it. Again, both teams using that stick against opposing players.
4 power play goals scored in the first period, 3 by Chicago, and the Chicago want to stay in this hockey, and the power play's got to continue to work because the Oilers have controlled the puck most of this game.
Billy Carroll out there killing off his penalty for the Edmonton Oilers, along with Yari Curry. Lowe and Fogelman are back. That pass by Doug Wilson picked off by Carroll. He takes it to the line and had it poked away, and Savard has it for Chicago. Savard tried to drop it for Doug Wilson. It was knocked away by initially Curry and then Kevin Lowe.
Good penalty killing by Billy Carroll. He learned a lot of it from...
Here's Savard with a breakaway. He scores!
Well, we've seen the speed of Paul Coffey, and now we see the speed of Savard again going for the opening, cutting into the hole, and just taking a nifty pass. That was Larmer that set him up, and once Savard gets in, boy, he certainly knows what to do with that puck. But that's the 4th power play goal for the Chicago Blackhawks. Savard is 9th from Larmer and Wilson.
Well, you know, there were many people who suggested a week ago tonight that the trip to Chicago for games 3 and 4 was a mere formality made necessary by league bylaws. Well, the Chicago Blackhawks won those 2 games in Chicago, and they now lead it 4-3 here in Edmonton. And I don't think there's a hockey fan looking in tonight who isn't surprised by what they've seen in the last 2.5 games. Anderson in front for Messier scores!
properly. Now watch right here at the blue line. The bandits breaks away. Now he looks around to make the pass. Nobody picked up Messier, and Brown has gone across to pick up Anderson. And they strike back quickly. Mark Messier scoring his 8th of the playoffs. An icing call against the Edmonton Oilers. Hockey Night in Canada and the Stanley Cup playoffs. Tradition continues.
Now Mark Messier, the goal scorer, and you know, from a checking position, you're never going to stop a Mark Messier from behind, try to hook him. You have to get the front position, and even it's not a bad idea for a forward to come back and face him, act like a defenseman. Did you notice again how quickly Messier released that puck? Bannerman had no chance on it.
Anderson and Coffey drawing assists on the goal by Mark Messier. And those 2 goals, Savard on the power play, his 9th of the playoffs, and Messier his 8th of the playoffs, coming 21 seconds apart. We've played 5 minutes of the second period. The score tied at 4. Back to the line. Here's a chance for Dupont. A shot right on, and Gretzky drops the rebound. Gretzky fakes the shot in front for Kosovinsky, and Bannerman got a piece of that, reacting just in the nick of time. Coffey circles back into his own zone, gets the return pass and the give and go with Curry. Coffey with a shot high off the glass. Back at the point, Huddy winds up. That puck bounced off Troy Murray. Patterson was looking for Murray, trying to send him in on a breakaway. The puck never got to him. Now it's Gretzky. Dropping it off in the corner. Coffey rink wide for Curry. Ahead for Dave Hunter. For Curry, he couldn't get a shot away. He goes rink wide with it for Jackson. Jackson shot is wide. Gretzky gets the rebound. He puts it wide. Finally, Olchek backhands it down the ice.
Well, again, Gretzky trying his best to get away from Troy Murray. Quite a battle. They go all the way up the ice together. What happened was when Gretzky cut behind the net, you're watching Troy Murray go. He doesn't chase him. He cuts across to get a better angle. There he goes. Now he picks up Gretzky again. Now when they get in the zone around the net, Murray ends up knocking Gretzky over. Gretzky almost picked up a rebound. Input out. That was a dive. He gets the puck right here. Almost scored. Right there. Almost scored. So Gretzky trying to make the draw penalty by driving. But Murray playing it very, very smartly.
13:55 remaining in the second with the score tied at 4. Loose puck at the side of the Chicago net. O'Callahan got it to the line. O'Carroll was able to keep it out. Then it went off the skate back into the Edmonton zone, and Billy Carroll has it for the Edmonton Oilers. Off the boards for Jackson. Jackson on the right side, too far for Lumley. Bannerman is forced to make the save. He comes out of the net. They'll hold the puck, and now it's Wilson and Lumley doing some pushing and shoving in front of that Chicago goal. And now we've got a pile up of players.
Well, Jackson threw the first punch. I wonder if he's going to go to the penalty box again.
Number 8 for White. Lovely. The one that started this whole thing again. He went into the net. Doug Wilson. Wilson went after him. Once they were inside that goal crease, and then everybody came together. So Lumley, every time he's on the ice, that is his job to stir it up, and he's getting it done again.
Well, penalties are going to be assessed as again we have Lumley and Larmer threatening to swing away at each other. Now Hunter and Sutter grab each other.
You know, watch with Lumley coming right down the middle of the ice surface with Doug Wilson. And watch what happens here. They push and shove. Now Wilson takes him right into the crossbar. Lumley gives him a shot. Wilson goes back at him. This is how the whole thing started. Both teams then milled in. Got it going pretty good.
13:27 is the time left in the second.
I see Fulford and Nielsen, and they're taking a little abuse from the fans behind the bench.
They have a police officer there to help them out. You know, looking at Roger Nielsen, the assistant, along with Bob Fulford, the head coach and general manager, they played together years ago, junior B team in Ontario, and Roger Nielsen was the goaltender. Fulford was one of the forwards. Roger Nielsen was saying that in practice
for the Edmonton Oilers. O'Callahan and Larmer for the Chicago Blackhawks are in the box.
That team that Nielsen and Colford played for years ago was called the Weston Dukes in Ontario.
O'Callahan gets a charging call. Larmer, Jackson, Lumley, all roughing at 6:33.
And Wilson doesn't get anything on that last call. He stayed out of it once the milling had started.
John, this is where a Mark Messier becomes so effective. He's got a lot of room to move out there. Very few players on the ice. And if he ever picks up that puck, he can go through the three Blackhawks that are out there and then score a goal. Seen him do it before.
It was at a 4-4 tie. You talked about Messier's speed. Chicago have Savard with his speed, but they've also got Doug Wilson and Keith Brown on the ice. Now, it's a 4-4 tie. Do you want the offense of a Doug Wilson, or do you want somebody that might be a little better defensively considering Wilson's injury?
Well, now Wilson, as Savard looks on, comes over to the bench. And Doug Wilson is going to stay out there.
I think either or. You know, you can go at Brown, you can go at Wilson, because both of them haven't played.
Let's not forget about Paul Coffey being on the ice. But all this open ice, watch him go for it. He had a great first period as far as offensively skating with the puck.
A race for the puck is Messier, who's out there with Huddy and Coffey. Plays it around on the board to Coffey to the other side. Huddy couldn't control it. Comes back to the line for Wilson to Savard. It bounced away from him. Here comes Coffey. Paul Coffey across the line. He shoots. One save by Murray Bannerman.
Now, with all these players on the ice, Chicago decided to go just with one defense. Wilson's out there, and they'll have two forwards in Troy Murray and Savard. Whereas Edmonton have Coffey and Huddy with only Messier. Now they're going to try to make a line change and get Keith Brown out there.
Just watch the Oilers. Something they do so well is crisscross. And a screen is actually set up just before Paul Coffey shoots the puck. Actually, it was a Blackhawk player that got in front of Bannerman. Here it comes again where Paul Coffey again being so smart. He waits until the last possible second before he lets that shot go at Bannerman to make sure that the screen is there.
The ultra slow-mo provided exclusively for Hockey Night in Canada by the Nicest Corporation. Huddy in the slot, good move to get away from Wilson, trying to go to his backhand. Wilson recovers. Wilson bumps Huddy in against the boards. The puck goes loose to the other corner. Gretzky working against Savard. To the line for Coffey. Coffey over for Huddy. Huddy with a shot. Glove save again on the short side by Murray Bannerman. Now it's Savard bringing it out. Three skaters against three. Long shot. Put to the corner by Francoeur. 1:04 remaining into the minor penalties. Coffey, a shot high and off the glass. He picks it up off the end boards. It's bodied there by Secord. It goes loose. Huddy moves in. A 6 save by Bannerman. The puck loose in the Chicago zone. Finally, Troy Murray gets it free to Al Secord. Secord couldn't go anywhere with it as Gretzky steals it. Gretzky for Coffey. Coffey stopped by Bob Murray, and the Hawks come back. Troy Murray with Secord. One man back. Over to Secord. And Francoeur came out of his net to poke it away. 27 seconds remaining in the penalties. Gretzky working against Bob Murray, waiting for someone to catch up with the play. Gretzky moving in. He's going to score!
Well, Chicago had a 2-on-1 and didn't take advantage of it. Edmonton comes back and gets the goal. By the time Gretzky shot the puck here, there's a big screen in front. Number 20, Al Secord. Look at the puck control by Wayne Gretzky. Look at Secord provide the screen. Secord plays on like a goaltender. That's not the way to do it. Bannerman had no chance because he didn't see it.
Did you notice that Gretzky, too, the first time he wasn't ready to shoot it, there was no shot there, so he would just spin away from Murray, hang on to it until that screen was set up. Gretzky is always 2 or 3 steps ahead of everybody else on the ice. So Gretzky, his 9th from Coffey.
Goal coming at 8:15. Gretzky's 9 for the playoffs from Paul Coffey. And for Paul Coffey, that's his 4th assist of this game. squeeze. Messier across the line. Drop pass. And the shot by Kevin Lowe. It never got through. And the penalized players are back out on the ice. Lysiak out of his own zone. The Oilers in front. 5-4. On the left side. Dupont with a shot. The rebound. It's pushed in behind the net. And apparently the whistle had blown prior to that puck being dumped up along the board. Tonight's game on CBC is coming to you from Northland Coliseum in Edmonton.
Well, the Oilers are ahead by a 5-4 count. They also enjoy a 25-14 shot total advantage. And watch Gretzky. Just amazing. The shot wasn't there. Why not just spin around and away from a player? Look at that head up. He's watching, looking, and then again he makes a good move against Murray. He's got Murray going around in circles instead of Murray just keeping his position. Where's Gretzky going to go?
Grant Fuhrer really closes his legs quickly here, but look at Lysiak come in and strip Fuhrer of the puck. That's what caused that last practice right around the goal crease area. Both Chicago defensemen moved in, and again the face-off outside because of the defenseman moving in. But Lysiak, right on top of Grant Fuhrer, decided to try and dig the puck out. Why not try it? Maybe pick up the rebound.
Well, Paul Coffey in the Winnipeg series equaled a Stanley Cup record. Most points in one game by a defenseman, 5. He's got 4 assists so far in this game. Lysiak spun around and slated into the Edmonton zone off Willie Lindstrom. 11:07 is the time left in the second. The score 5-4 in favor of the Oilers. Doug Wilson intercepted the pass at his own line, dumps it up, it's brought back in. There's Willie Lindstrom with a shot, the rebound! And it's fired well from McClellan. Murray Bannerman was down, but McClellan fired it wide. At the point, it's dumped out. Wilson for Sutter. Across the line, Sutter working to the corner against Fogelin. Trying to center it. He's bumped into the boards by Fogelin. Fogelin brings it out. Across the line, he shoots it to the corner. Bannerman stops it back to the goal.
Well, today Fogelin mentioned that it's time to get a little mean out there. Boy, did he ever throw a check against Sutter.
Now Sutter working in, trying to go to his backhand. He spun around. Coffey will get a penalty. Cup 85 on CBC.
Paul Coffey draws the penalty on roughing, but let's just go back where Fogelin hit Sutter. Normally, you would retaliate. Sutter, he just got up immediately, went out there and kept playing, and actually drew a penalty here against Coffey. You see Coffey all over him, throws him down. That'll give Chicago another opportunity. They have been dynamite on that power play, haven't they?
They've got 4 power play goals. The power plays for both clubs were very ineffective going into this hockey game. They just 4 goals between them and 34 chances in this series. And during this hockey game here, there's been 5 goals scored. So more goals in this game than the entire series before. There's the key.
9:57, the time left in this second period. 5-4. The Oilers lead them. All the Chicago goals via the power play. They have the manpower advantage again. Savard picks it up off the boards for Secord. Back to the line to Bob Murray. Over to Doug Wilson. He winds up his shot. Sent off Messier to the corner. And now the Oilers break out. Gretzky with Messier. Lead pass for Messier. For Gretzky. Gretzky got the shot away even though he was being harassed by Larner. And there'll be a penalty coming up against the Chicago backpaw. That comes with 9:27 remaining in the period.
The philosophy of the Edmonton Oilers when killing a penalty is not to play overly defensive. This time Steve Larmer, when their team was on the power play, gets caught wrestling with Wayne Gretzky. There you see him hold him. Gretzky does a smart thing by taking the dive. Negates the power play opportunity that Chicago have. And again, that aggressive, trying to be offensive when killing penalties. The Oilers' philosophy works again.
Well, the Oilers will get a 42nd manpower advantage. Coffey still has 120 to serve in his roughing penalty. Patterson Plays it back into his own zone. Ben Wilson for Keith Brown. Lead pass for Patterson. Offside.
Well, every team needs a comedian of some sort on their club. Patterson is just that person with the Chicago Blackhawks. A lot of his teammates say he doesn't stay on block, but when he does it, just sort of strikes the funny bone, pushes the guys up in the dressing room.
That's very important too, John, especially when there's so much tension in the dressing room to have a guy that breaks the ice and get everybody loose again. You know, every club has somebody like that. Semenko, of course, is the character for the Edmonton Oilers.
I'm not sure if he'd be in such a funny mood tonight since he's not dressed.
Semenko, Hughes, and Melnick. The Edmonton Oilers not dressed tonight. Boyd, Crawley, and McMillan not in uniform for the Chicago Blackhawks. Boyd and Crawley both played in Game 4. McMillan has not played in this series. Keith Brown back in the lineup after being hurt in Game 1. Puck in across the line, picked off by Lysiak. Lysiak trying to get it back to the point for Keith Brown. He was not in position to accept that pass. Then Wilson loses it in the corner to Curry. Curry unable to center it. Now it's picked up by the Hawks, and Lysiak starts out. Lysiak crossing the line, trying to move around, trying to get away from Gregg. He's taken into the boards by Gregg, and back comes Anderson. Anderson against Doug Wilson, trying to go to the outside. Slid a weak shot to the goal mouth. Bannerman flipped it to the corner. Olchak is hit by Lee Fogelin as he attempted to break up. Kevin Lowe goes back to pick it up.
Remember the two games in Chicago where both teams went offside quite often. In this game tonight, they're using a lot of discipline and just using the blue line and riding the blue line rather than going ahead before the puck gets there. So they're playing with a lot of discipline in that area.
And now the Oilers have a manpower advantage. Doug Wilson took the puck away from the Edmonton player at the line. 32 seconds remaining in the penalty to Larmer. Fogelin racing into the corner after the puck. He's checked there by O'Callaghan. The loose puck brought out by Gretzky. He couldn't go to his backhand, and Curry couldn't get a shot away. And now Troy Murray fires it deep into the Edmonton zone. Time for one more rush with this manpower advantage, led by Messier. Drop pass at the line for Coffey. In for Curry. He couldn't catch up with it, and it was banged over the glass and out of play.
Yeah, there's another example of the Blackhawks backing in. They had 4 men back and only Messier up front carrying the puck, and yet they allowed Messier to carry that puck over the blue line.
1 second remaining in the penalty to Steve Larmer. 7:28 in this second period, but the Oilers are front by 1.
Carol Sutter talking about the Sutter family in the National Hockey League. They all look towards brother Brian, who was the first one to play in the NHL. Of course, he plays in the St. Louis Blues. And he says affectionately, if it wasn't for brother Brian, none of the Sutter boys would have made it. He was the one that broke the ice and made the impossible dream possible for the rest of the family.
Well, the Sutters make their home in Viking, Alberta, and they all played their junior hockey with the Lethbridge Broncos. There's Savard, who played junior hockey with the Montreal Junior Canadians. Now into that face-off circle against Billy Carroll. As the penalized player Larmer steps back onto the ice, Carroll digs it out from the corner. He was looking for Lumley. Lumley has taken up a position in front of the net, but the puck never got through to him. Savard crosses the line, gets it in for Larmer. Larmer tried to play it back to the point to Savard. He had already moved in. He was going for the slot. Savard has it again. There's a penalty coming up against the Edmonton Oilers. Dave Lumley. Savard drops it back. Murray moving in. He took a shot, and Fuhr came way out to get a piece of it. That puck in the corner now. Picked up by Sutter. A backhand shot, and the net is off its mooring, and that results in a whistle. There's a penalty against Dave Lumley coming up. So the Blackhawks will have another power play opportunity with 6:47 left in the second.
The coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Glenn Sather, says you have to initiate, not retaliate. Now let's watch Lumley as he goes right towards the Chicago bench. He gets bumped. Watch him retaliate with an elbow, a punch to the back of the head. Myers was standing right there, pointed it out. and he's in the penalty box. Grant Fuhrer made a great save here. Watch, he moves out. He's going to go to his left, and he's going to get a piece of that puck and knock it wide from Bob Murray. A sensational save, and the Blackhawks really started to put the pressure on. Grant Fuhrer did the job in goal.
I'm sure Sather has to be very disappointed in some of the bad penalties that his club has taken, especially the way Chicago has worked in that power play. And, you know, that could be their demise if they keep taking those retaliatory penalties.
Now the Oilers bring it out. Gretzky with Messier. Messier broke his stick on the shot, and the Blackhawks come back. Shots on goal, 29-13 in favor of Edmonton. They lead at 5-4. Ball Coffey overskated it back to his own net. The puck is loose. Charlie Huddy trying to move out of there. He's having some problems along the boards against Savard. Savard has it, but the play is whistled down.
Lots of clutching and grabbing going on both ends of the ice. We mentioned that Chicago only has 13 shots on goal. The majority of them have to be on their power play. Watch Paul Coffey and Larmer. They're going at each other. There's some grabbing. You see a lot of that.
Both teams have been guilty of that.
Absolutely. Both teams. And that's what causes a lot of face-offs. A lot of people falling down on pucks.
Well, you talk about players playing with courage. Paul Coffey is certainly one. He had to be helped off to the dressing room, as you saw at the start of the game, being hit with a shot in the warm-up. He has a bad arm. He's got a back problem. He's got an ankle problem. And he has 4 assists in tonight's game.
And also, Don, this is the time of the year when you don't worry about your injuries. You go out and play.
We mentioned the clutching and grabbing. Glenn Sather and Bob Fulford, the respective coaches, that's the style of play they used when they played in the National Hockey League.
Well, the last time that the Blackhawks beat the Oilers at Northlands Coliseum was on December 29th, 1982. Ben Wilson for Lysiak. Back to the point. Keith Brown winds up the shot right on, and the rebound is cleared to the boards by Messier, and he gets it out into the center ice area for Coffey. Coffey against Brown and drive. Bannerman has to react quickly to make the save on that one. Now it's Troy Murray bringing it out for the Hawks. 1:05 left in the penalty. Murray goes to the corner. He's spun around. The puck is loose back to the net, and Gretzky for Edmonton clears it across the line. It's brought in offside by Ben Wilson.
Well, there's an example of how the Blackhawks fear that speed of the Edmonton Oilers. Wilson was already backing out of the zone when Gretzky had the puck in his own end. And he's got to hang in there, and had he been up at the blue line, he would have been able to intercept that pass.
55 seconds for time left in the penalty to Dave Lumley. 5:42 remaining in the second period. The score is 5-4 in favor of the Oilers. The series is tied at 2 games each, and Game 6 will take place in Chicago on Thursday night, and we'll have it for you on the CBC Network on Hockey Night in Canada.
I tried to mention earlier in the period about Billy Carroll killing penalties. He learned a lot from Butch Goring when he was with the Islanders. The art of killing penalties. They used to spend a lot of time going over videos of team's power plays.
Loose puck picked up by the Edmonton Oilers. Carroll ahead to Hunter, back to Carroll. Carroll still has it, tried to center it. Lumley was tied up by Doug Wilson. And Savard moves back in his own net. Savard having problems getting out of there, and he's upset by Carroll. Right now, Bob Myers, but there was no penalty call forthcoming.
Right now, both coaches are hollering and screaming at Myers for letting some of this stuff go.
On the right side, Larmer gets around low. Larmer having difficulty controlling it. He falls. Kevin Lowe comes up with it. Dumps it up along the board. And it's cleared down the ice. A delayed penalty call coming up against Al Secor. A hooking call. Well back at the play.
It happened right behind Grant Fuhrer. There was quite a scramble along the board. Secord reached out and pulled down Kevin Lowe. We'll watch Lowe get control. Watch Secord stick. Down goes Lowe. Myers was right behind the play. Positioned along the goal line. And he called Al Secord. And
that comes just as the penalty to Lumley expired. So the Edmonton Oilers now have a power play opportunity with 4:42 left in the period.
Well, you have to give this young man a lot of marks for courage. He's the real holler guy of the Chicago Blackhawks. Gets things stirred up and gets the players motivated in the dressing room. And his presence is very important to the Blackhawks. You wonder how effective he is, because the hip pointer isn't the type of injury where you can skate freely. He's probably in a lot of pain.
The hip pointer basically is a deep bone bruise, and that's very painful.
Gretzky takes the shot, and Bannerman makes the save. Krushelnyski was in front of that net screening. Ben Wilson nudges Krushelnyski into the board, and the puck is fired up into the crowd.
Chicago have been very effective killing penalties, and they were talking about they don't want to forecheck Edmonton too deep when they're killing the penalties because they'll get trapped. They want to try and stay back and force the Edmonton team to the outside. Look at Krushelnyski in front. Tries to deflect it with a stick, looking for a rebound. Actually got out of the way of that shot, but Krushelnyski was talking about being in front. He says he doesn't mind being there as long as the people with the puck back towards that blue line shoot it and shoot it low.
Ball Coffey over to Huddy. Huddy shot. Gets through. Bannerman was screened on it. There were players in front attempting to deflect it. None of them touched it, and Bannerman almost got fooled.
Well, that's a tricky type of a deflection, almost a change-up, Don. But again, Krushelnyski went to the front. Huddy this time just got the puck, put his head down and tried to blast it. There's no sense in standing in front of the net, taking a beating if your teammates aren't going to shoot the puck and either try and deflect it, either screen a goaltender or pick up a rebound. You don't want to stand there and take a beating for no reason.
And defensively, you don't really have to do anything to the guy standing in front until the defenseman has the puck and ready to shoot it. That's when you want to clear him out of there. Why waste a lot of energy in a shoving and pushing match?
1:30 remaining in the penalty to Secord as the Edmonton Oilers come out led by Curry. Drop pass for Gretzky. Gretzky moving into the slot for Coffey, and shot is goes wide. Now it's Huddy picking it up off the board. Over for Coffey. Back to Huddy. Huddy with a shot. Gretzky on the rebound. And coming across the block, it was Murray. Bannerman made the initial save, and then Murray blocked Gretzky.
Well, you know, everybody's enthused about this game because the players on both benches are standing up watching the action.
Ball Coffey in front, and it's fired over the net by Anderson. Dumped out into the center ice area, and back there is Wayne Gretzky for Yari Curry. Across the line with 40 seconds left in the penalty. He tries to center, and it's broken up by Ludwig. Ludwig unable to get out. Gretzky with a shot.
It's the power play goal for the Oilers. How often do you see Gretzky trail a play? You think the Hawks are going to get out? Look at Gretzky. He stays behind and just puts it right up in the top corner. A great shot. Ludwig overskated the puck originally. That's why they couldn't get it out. Gretzky's smart. He decides to trail. You never know what's going to happen. Here he picks it up. Really gets a lot on that shot. A quick shot, top corner.
And John, when a game is on the line or an important game, that's when your superstar really comes to the forefront. And again, it's Wayne Gretzky that rises to the occasion.
Well, it was Glenn Anderson who made that goal possible by forcing the turnover, poking it away from Ludwig. As it looks as though the Hawks will be able to clear the zone. So it's a 6-4 game. Gretzky's 10th from Anderson at 16:46. 2:49 left in period 2. The Oilers in front by 2 goals. A pass for Anderson, and Anderson was upset as Bannerman came out of the net. A shot from the point goes over top of the goal. Now it's Napier. For Napier, a quick shot. Anderson looking for that rebound as the save is made by Bannerman, and Anderson is hurt.
The Edmonton Oilers constantly driving for that net. I didn't see how Anderson got hurt, but they have certainly forechecked the Chicago Blackhawks right into submission here. Now let's see to your left ear screen as the stick came up and caught Anderson high. The fake.
It was Wozniak's stick that came up and caught Anderson. Anderson all always around that goal crease. Now, he had a stick up and flip Bob Murray in Game 4 for a few pitches, and now it looks like Anderson's going to get a few. Watch Mysiak, his hockey stick, as he goes up there. He tried to bat the puck in midair. He missed it, and the follow-through caught Glenn Anderson up in the face. The fans are rather irate here in the Northlands Coliseum, but really no reason to be. That was an accidental high stick by Tom Mysiak.
This period has been dominated by the Edmonton Oilers, as Chicago has only registered 5 shots on net and have only had 1 good scoring chances. And again, that's that speed, and the Blackhawks continue to retreat.
They've been chasing Edmonton around. Edmonton's had the puck basically for the first 2 periods of play, and the only time Chicago's had great chances have been on their power play. Their power play has kept them in this game, but I would say if you're going to take a percentage, it'd be around 70% of the time Edmonton's had total control of the puck, and the Hawks have been chasing it. And it was just the opposite in Chicago in Game 4, where the Blackhawks had the puck the majority of the time.
And it isn't any fun playing when you can't have the puck.
34-14. The Oilers lead in shots on goal, and the most important category, they lead on the scoreboard by a score of 6-4. Willie Lindstrom dumps it in, then takes the check from Secor. Murray Bannerman had problems with that puck back of the net. It flies out front. McClellan is tied up and spun around. He manages to get it again. Slides it into the corner for Hunter. Hunter trying to get it away from O'Callahan. O'Callahan falls on top of it. There'll be a face-off. Now they're pushing and shoving in the corner.
Again, the fans are hollering and screaming on a apparent hook by the Blackhawks, and it seems that's the only way they can slow down the Oilers at this stage of the game, because they are certainly skating with a lot of speed and excellent forechecking. You know, this line here is McClellan, Hunter, and Lindstrom are doing that forechecking. They're getting right on top of the Blackhawks, and you can see the Blackhawks with their face against the glass, and that, you know that the forechecking is there when that happens.
You know, and watching Kevin McClellan play like he has tonight, he said he grew up watching Bobby Clark play, and he certainly played like him tonight. He's been involved with all those little incidents of pushing and shoving, and a lot of times with Doug Wilson.
6 power play goals have been scored so far tonight by the 2 teams. 4 by Chicago, 2 by Edmonton. And the most power play goals by both teams in one game, 7. That was a year ago, April 28, 1984, when Edmonton defeated Minnesota 8-5. Edmonton had 3 power play goals in that one, Minnesota 4, but Edmonton won the game 8-5. And even though they trail in power play goals here, they lead at 6-4. Savard against Messier in the face-off circle. Now Savard is plays out, and Sutter will step in. Messier out there with Willie Lindstrom and Dave Hunter. Sutter got the draw, got it back into his own zone. Brought out by DuPont. He was looking for Sutter with that long pass too far. And Huddy in his own zone tries to bring it out. And finally it's dumped into the Chicago Blackhawk bench, resulting in a whistle.
Charlie Huddy shaved the beard off for luck. I was talking to him this morning. He kind of reluctantly admitted the fact that it was for luck, a little bit superstitious, didn't really want to talk about it, but finally I got out of it. Yeah, I guess the voice is trying to change things a little bit. A lot of hockey players do things in different fashions. Most of them are superstitious.
1:37 left in period 2. 6-4 is the score. It was 3-3 after 20 minutes. Blackhawks took the lead in the second. Then Edmonton has replied with 3 straight goals. That Blackhawk lead lasted just 21 seconds. Here's a race for the loose puck. Krushelnyski's going in. Bannerman makes the save. Another shot. They score!
Strike, and the big guy muscles his way through. Bannerman makes an excellent play. Now everybody is facing the puck carrier Nobody really looks around to see who's coming late, and Yari Curry has the presence of mind to follow up the play. In case Krushelnyski doesn't score, he can get the rebound. You notice the Blackhawks didn't stop on the play. When Bannerman made the save, they skated away from the net. Well, Curry had an easy time of it after that.
Well, Yari Curry has certainly returned to form tonight after being shut out in the 2 games in Chicago. His 3rd goal in the game, his 14th in the playoffs, and Krushelnyski at 18:39, and the Oilers lead by 3. Olczak ahead for Troy Murray. His shot, knocked out. Olczak gets the rebound, flips it. Gure has problems with it, and finally it's cleared. And now the Oilers break out. Curry drops the pass over to Krushelnyski, saved by Bannerman, and the puck is cleared. 42 seconds left in period 2. 7-4, Edmonton in front. Game 5 of this Campbell Conference Final with the series tied at 2 games apiece. Paul Coffey going around O'Callaghan. Coffey tried to center it. It was deflected back of the net. Played up to the line. Olczak had difficulty controlling it, and Kozar is back for Edmonton. He drops the back, takes the return pass a little too far, and the Blackhawks gain control in their own zone with 10 seconds left in the period.
For Yari Curry, that's the 3rd hat trick of the playoffs this year, and the 2nd time against the Blackhawks.
And that ends period 2. And the score at the end of 40 minutes is Edmonton 7, Chicago 4.